Bujingai the Forsaken City is an action hack and slash developed by Taito Corporation in collaboration with Red Entertainment for the PlayStation 2. Originally released in North America by BAM Entertainment on July 22, 2004. Bujingai is set in the 23rd century. Catastrophe wiped out a majority of the Earth's population and its entire government. The survivors have found themselves in possession of magical powers stemming from the energies of the Earth. Lao Wang, our main protagonist, is a sword-wielding exile who returns to Earth to confront a former ally and an army of demons who have taken hold of the city known as Bujingai. The story part of this game, not that interesting. It's actually laughably bad. Like, the cutscenes don't make any sense, and they don't even have any kind of connection. You just know who the bad guy is because he's doing bad things, and there's not a lot of flashbacks. There's no context. It's pretty badly told, but I don't think you should be playing this for the story. I think you should be playing this for the gameplay. I'm just going to get characters out of the way because there's not really anything interesting. A lot of them are just one note. Lao Wang is our silent protagonist. He doesn't really talk. There's no development there. There's no growth there. You're just going from point A to point B, killing as many demons and then fighting a boss and then eventually fighting the main protagonist who isn't really that intimidating. I mean, yeah, he looks cool, but he has no personality, and honestly, I didn't really care about his motivation. But as I said, the story isn't really going to be the thing you're going to focus on. I think this gameplay is pretty amazing. The fighting is so satisfying, and just blocking and parrying your opponents is just so satisfying. And I love the colors of the blades just zipping through the air when you're slashing through an enemy. It just looks so cool, and it's so fluid. Now, despite that, the gameplay isn't necessarily perfect. The controls are a little clunky. A lot of times when you're going up against these enemies, you're just hitting the same buttons over and over again until they die, and the camera is really bad, and worst of all, the jumping is terrible. There's going to be many moments when you're going to be platforming, and the combination of this game's crap camera and its shitty jumping is just terrible. There is a glide, but it's just very wonky. It's kind of hard to explain. You kind of have to play the game to get what I'm talking about, but it's very awkward how it's done. The level of design in this game is pretty interesting. It's kind of satisfying going through this city and like the ancient ruins and like the snowy level. It's really fun, and it's really nice to go through these environments. There is some light puzzle solving, and shouldn't take you a lot of time to solve them. They're pretty easy. Fighting through this game can be difficult sometimes. You definitely have to worry about parrying and blocking as much as you can, especially on the boss fights, which, in my opinion, this game's biggest strong suit is all the boss fights. They are so entertaining, they're so fun, and I actually went through this game again just to fight the bosses. It was just so much fun. I had a blast. But I was kind of disappointed because once the boss battle is done, I have to go through another level. And while it is cool going through that level, if it has a platforming section, I was massively disappointed. Graphically, I say Bujingai still holds up after all these years. Sure, some of the textures aren't really polished, but I think the character models look very good. And when it goes into the full motion cutscenes, some of them actually look pretty decent. The soundtrack is another big strong suit of this game. I liked all the musics, and I loved all the songs in the different levels. The music that plays up when you're going up against an enemies, it's really cool and gets you pumped up. Overall, Bujingai is kind of a mixed bag for me in terms of recommending it to people. If you're a big fan of hack and slashes like Devil May Cry, you're probably going to like this. However, in my opinion, Devil May Cry just controls more smoothly than Bujingai. Like I said, the jumping is terrible. It's got a crap camera angle, and the platforming just sucks in this game straight out. But when you're fighting the enemies and when you're fighting those bosses, it gets really intense, and it's really fun. So if you're looking at this and it seems interesting, definitely check it out. But if not, it probably isn't going to be the best thing ever or going to change your mind. And that's that. Let me know down below what you thought of Bujingai the Forsaken City. And if there's any games similar to this game, let me know down below. And as always, like and subscribe and do all that stuff. Big thanks to those that support me on Patreon. Warpbait, Miasma Senpai, my name is Doofy, and Nia-chan. You guys are awesome.